Hi, my name is Drea, and I'm here to present for Savimbo. Savimbo does fair trade climate credits. This whole story started because my friend Johnny has a jaguar in his backyard, and he started following it around with a video camera, and he stopped narco trafficking, became an environmentalist and a vegetarian. And I think you guys understand that if you start to study the outliers in our world, things, people who do things right, you can learn novel things than if you're just studying problems. So we started studying Johnny, and we were like, why did he do this? Just like all of his neighbors, I think we all wanted to know. And so we decided after about a year, I realized he did it because the jaguar was beautiful, it was wild, and it was bigger than him. And that's the way that I feel about our project, Savimbo, because that's the way everybody at Savimbo feels about our planet. We work in this patch of the Colombian Amazon. The Amazon is a big forest. It contains about 25% of the world's land carbon. And if we can't stop the deforestation, it's going to emit that into the atmosphere on top of the carbon that we already have there, which will be a planet killer. First, a little bit more about Savimbo. Savimbo was founded by three people. Johnny, who's formerly worked for the World Wildlife Fund. Me, I'm an MD technologist, and Fernando. Fernando is a third-generation Colombian shaman. This is where we work. We work right on the border of deforestation, and we work on both sides of it. So on one side, we have indigenous small farmers with small plots of land, which have been mostly conserved by the farmers at an economic loss. And on the other side, we have large farming collectives, or sometimes indigenous groups, with big communal plots of land that are completely preserved. We need different actions for different sides of the border, and we have to make both groups happy if we want to stop deforestation. We also work with about 18 indigenous groups across the Amazon, Colombia, Ecuador, Mexico, Venezuela, Brazil, and Peru, and more coming every day. We have leaders in Africa and Asia also interested in our solutions. The reason is we made this solution specifically from and for them. There are so many things to talk about with biodiversity, but I'm going to keep it simple. I think it's really cool that we've done this biodiversity credit, but I think the coolest thing is that in the Amazon, there is not a lot of institutional funding. In other words, for people in the Amazon to get funding, they really have to go outside the borders of the Amazon and get people around the planet to care about it. The Amazon is one of 9 planetary tipping points, and we've already crossed 6 of them. If we can solve for this, if we can find a better way to measure ecosystems in the Amazon and incentivize conservation behavior at the small farmer level, we can stop the deforestation in its tracks this year. Here's some videos of our jaguar, collected, Johnny's jaguar, but actually now we're starting to get some friends. So we also have a jaguar from the Cofan in Ecuador across the border. You'll see him in a minute. Yeah, so jaguars aren't our only animals that we track, and we've noticed in the Amazon, they're one of the easiest ones to track because they're so indicative of primary forest. They're rare, sentinel, trafficked, culturally significant, all the good stuff. But we also do harpy eagle and bush dog, as I mentioned. I've talked to friends that are doing killer whales in the Arctic, people who are doing blue whales and a birthing site. We have people who are doing rhinos in Africa. This methodology really works for anywhere that local people need to conserve animals and be incentivized to participate in animal conservation. I think if you have one takeaway from this presentation, I would like you to take away the fact that I think locals can produce more, that traditional ecological knowledge is more valuable in the Amazon. The people who live there know the best about how to conserve it, and incentivizing them through a biodiversity credit is one of the best ways to get direct payments for climate action because they can do the science themselves. That's it. Follow us on TikTok for more jaguars.